Good morning, Godly Play friends. Today we're going to talk about our first heifer project animal, the sheep. Miss Helen and I picked the sheep for our first heifer animal because sheep are very important in the Bible. There are many stories in the Bible about sheep and shepherds, and many Bible people had the job of being a shepherd. A shepherd is somebody who takes care of the sheep. Do you remember in one of our stories several months ago, we talked about Jesus telling his disciples to feed my sheep? Jesus talked about sheep and shepherds in many of his stories too. So today I got my maps all set up. They're not curly anymore like they were last week. And I pulled all of the sheep items out of my heifer box, and I have them set up here in my kitchen in what I call my sheep station. I want to show you a couple things on the map here, a couple of places on the map that we're going to hear about a little later. And these are places where heifer has sent sheep so that people can use them to help in their daily lives. Some of those places are Guatemala. Guatemala is here in Central America. That's between North America and South America. And we're going to hear about Senegal. Senegal is a country that's here on the northwest coast of Africa. And we're going to hear about some sheep in China. China is this blue country where the panda bear is. And we're going to hear about some sheep in Bolivia. Bolivia is right in the middle of South America. So let's get started today by finding out some things about sheep. A female sheep is called a ewe, E-W-E. A male sheep is called a ram. A baby sheep is called a lamb. A group of sheep is called a flock. Sheep can be white, black, or brown. Some sheep have long horns, and some kinds of sheep have no horns at all. Sometimes only the male sheep have horns, and sometimes both the male and female sheep have horns. A sheep's horns are hollow. In fact, in Bible times, sometimes the people used the sheep's horns for a trumpet. A sheep's foot is called a hoof, and they have 2 toes on each hoof. Sheep eat grass, hay, and oats, and they drink a lot of water. Most sheep today live on farms, but sheep adapt easily to many types of environments. In fact, sheep were one of the earliest animals to be domesticated. That means taken out of the wild and used by humans to provide food and other items. In the United States, there are more sheep in Texas than in any other state. Sheep are covered with wool. That's what we call their hair or fur. The wool keeps them dry and warm. In the spring, the farmers clip off all of the sheep's wool. This is called shearing. The farmers shear off the sheep's coat in one piece, and it takes about 5 minutes once the farmer gets really good at it. A sheep's wool can weigh up to 18 pounds after it has been sheared. The sheep's wool is then turned into yarn and is used to make clothing and blankets. So let's talk a little bit now about Heifer International and sheep. Heifer has provided sheep to struggling communities for decades. Heifer also provides training to the farmers on how to care for the sheep and how to use the sheep to help farm families improve their incomes. Here are some examples. Amilar Funes Lopez lives in Guatemala. He holds one of his sheep provided by Heifer. Heifer helped Amilar to use sheep to provide food for his family and helped him learn about sustainable agriculture. Thomas Tyne lives in Senegal and raises sheep with his son Gaetan. Thomas learned that it is less expensive to house and feed sheep than some other animals. It looks like Thomas's sheep have already had their spring haircuts. The Silla family is also from Senegal. They raise sheep to help support their family. Here are two of the children of the family, Awa and Una, who help to take care of the flock. And here is Swari Urju, who is just 7 years old. She lives in China and she helps her family to feed the sheep. Her family uses the sheep's wool and milk for themselves and also to sell to other families. This provides them with an income to use on other things that they need. Tending a flock that started with a few heifer-provided animals is helping Bernardo Zapata Gonzalez feed and clothe his family in the chilly highlands of Bolivia. This week, we sent you some woolly fun activity pages from Heifer that have some games and other activities that have to do with sheep. If you haven't received them in the mail yet, you'll get them in the next day or two. We hope you have fun and maybe you'll learn some more things about sheep. And now, Miss Helen is going to tell us a story from the Bible about sheep.
Hello, Godly Play friends. Today, you're going to learn a little bit from Miss Becky about heifer and sheep. So I thought I would tell a Godly Play story about sheep. There are a lot of stories about sheep in the Bible. Now, maybe you remember when we talked about certain stories called parables. And a parable, remember we had the big gold present because a parable is something that has layers to it and sometimes has to be unwrapped to be understood. So this parable was once told by Jesus when a bunch of religious people came to him and said, "Why do you spend so much time with people who do bad things, sinners and tax collectors?" And Jesus said, "Which one of you, if you had 100 sheep and one was lost, would not leave the 99 on the hillside and go find the lost sheep?" And when you found him, you would go back to the rest of your flock, but you would be so happy that he was found, and you would tell all your friends, "I found my lost sheep. Let's rejoice together." And Jesus said that in heaven, there is more happiness and rejoicing when one person who has done bad things changes his mind and tells God that he's sorry and repents than for all of the other people who have been doing good things and didn't need to repent. So I wonder a lot of things about this story. I always wonder if I would be the sheep that was lost or if I would be the sheep in here, all the 99, all the other sheep. And I wonder what Jesus is really saying in this story, in this parable. Maybe that's something you could talk with your parents about and maybe think about in the next week. All right, goodbye for now.